So a couple of weeks ago I was tagged by a gentleman named Tom. He hails from the great state of Maine. His YouTube channel is called East Grand Woodsman. He's got a cabin up in the bush. He likes to fish for lake trout, he ice fishes, he hunts for deer and bear. And his cabin is pretty close to the Canadian border. It's in a beautiful part of the state of Maine. Tom's challenge is to talk about the person or the happening that really instigated our love of the great outdoors. Myself and another gentleman from Canada. Well, Tom, I'd say that I've been blessed with some influential men in my life as a young boy. And those men, they're the ones that really brought about this great love of the great outdoors. First of all was my father. My father was a British immigrant. He was in the British Army. He loved to shoot. He loved to shoot very accurately. He loved to practice. He loved to make sure his rifles were sighted in. And as a young boy, I got to spend a lot of time with my dad. Hunting, he loved to hunt rabbits and ducks. And he loved to target practice. So that's where my love of firearms came from. It was from time with my father as a young boy. As far as hunting goes, I think my love of hunting, duck hunting and small game hunting, that came from my father. And then there was another gentleman that worked with my father. I got to spend some time with him as a boy. I learned a lot about trapping and about hunting from him. And my first serious deer hunt was with him. And I shot my first deer, actually, in a family camp, his family camp, when I was 16 years old, actually. So my love of big game hunting, it came from him and actually his father. His father was a gentleman that trapped for a living. He had a sawmill. He did some drilling and blasting. And he had a tremendous respect for the outdoors. Each spring, he'd transplant trees in the bush to areas he thought needed some help. He'd take out old beaver dams from ponds that he thought were long overdue. And there was a couple of dams that every time he walked across, he'd carry a rock and put it on it. And you can imagine what those dams were like. In today's words, you could drive a four-wheeler across them, no problems. All because of a little bit of work he did, a lot of times, a little bit at a time. And then there was my great Uncle Tom. When I was a boy, this gentleman married my grandmother's sister. I caught my first lake trout with Uncle Tom on Lake Mazenau, one of the deepest lakes in Ontario, actually. And I was, just a young fellow, because I can remember it was hard to reel it in. And I was like, I'm getting tired. We were using steel line. That was my introduction to catching lake trout. And he would also take me fishing in the Salmon River, and we'd fish for pickerel and pike. And to a young boy, what an adventure it was. To get an invitation from Uncle Tom and Auntie Amy, it was fantastic. My love of the bush, working in the bush, wow, there was a lot of people I got to work with. The gentleman's father I mentioned earlier with his sawmill, I just loved to go there and saw lumber on his mill with him. My father-in-law loved to work in the bush. He instilled that love in me as well. I actually read in my father-in-law's diary in the 1940s when he was a teenager. His father would send him to the bush to cut cedar. And he'd cut it, limb it, lop the top off, skid it out with horses, and then load it on a sleigh and take it to town to sell for telephone poles and hydro poles, as hydro was coming to the area. My father-in-law also loved to harvest responsibly in the bush. So, Tom, those were the gentlemen and the happenings, I think, that pretty well put together my love of the great outdoors. At least help instigate it anyways. I'm 59 years old now, and it's only gotten deeper and greater. My appreciation for the beauty of this creation, and when we get to hunt and fish and harvest, we are so blessed. So Tom, I hope this answers your questions, buddy. And I just loved hearing the story about you and your dad shooting a deer with you when you were just a boy, and how that started it all for you. I also love the pictures on your site of your dad and his moosey dad. That was pretty fun.